How many photos are you stored on your phone that you have never posted? 20? 50? 100? You took them. You edited some. Maybe you even wrote captions in your head, but then something stopped you. What was it? Because here's the part most people never say out loud. For some of us, posting a photo doesn't feel like sharing a moment. It feels like giving it away. And once you press post, something changes. The moment stops being yours. It becomes content. Not because you're insecure, not because you're afraid of judgment, and definitely not because you have nothing to share. We've been taught very early on that if something isn't shared, it didn't really happen. If you've been somewhere beautiful and haven't posted about it, were you even there? If you're happy and no one sees it, are you truly happy? The pressure is subtle but constant. Document, choose, post, repeat. And if you step outside that rhythm, the assumptions come quickly. You're hiding something. You're unsociable. You live a secret life. But what if that interpretation is completely backwards? What if people who don't post aren't disconnected from life at all, but protecting something most people have already lost? The ability to experience things without constantly sharing them. This isn't really about privacy. It's not about shyness versus confidence. It's about what goes on inside you as soon as you think about posting. Do you feel the urge to share something? Does posting feel like a completion to you? Like the experience becomes more real once others see it? What do you feel? Imagine you're somewhere beautiful, a sunset, a perfect moment, and then the thought arrives, I should post this. Immediately, something changes. You're no longer in the moment. You're outside it, thinking about angles, thinking about captions, thinking about how others will see it. One person feels energized by this. The performance is part of the pleasure. Another person feels something else entirely. From the outside, both people took a photo. Inside, one person is sharing an experience. The other just watched their experience become a product. And that split, that distance between living something and performing it, some nervous systems can't tolerate it. Because here's what people don't understand about not posting. From the outside, it looks like absence, like you're not participating, not engaged, not really there. But on the inside, something completely different is happening. You're making a choice, not a passive choice, an active one. When you decide not to post, you're deciding that this moment, this conversation, this feeling, this experience deserves to stay private. Not because it's secret, because it's yours. For many people, that distinction doesn't make sense. If something is good, why not share it? If something matters, why hide it? But for people who don't post, the question is reversed. If something matters, why give it away? Privacy isn't about hiding. Privacy is about choosing who gets access. And social media doesn't allow that choice. It's all or nothing. Everyone or no one. So you choose no one. Not because the moment isn't valuable, because it's too valuable to broadcast. And what we repeat, the brain learns. This is where something subtle but powerful happens. Every time you post, your brain creates a memory. But that memory includes the performance, the likes, the comments, the reactions. Over time, those reactions become part of the experience itself. The vacation isn't just the vacation. It's the vacation plus 47 likes. The achievement isn't just the achievement. It's the achievement plus the validation. And here's where it gets dangerous. Eventually, experiences that don't get posted start to feel less real. You do something meaningful, but you don't share it, and there's this quiet voice. Did that even matter? The brain has learned to measure value by visibility. It's as if the taste of your dinner depends on how many likes the photo of your plate gets. But people who don't post, their brain learns something different. It learns that experiences don't need witnesses to be real, that meaning doesn't require validation, that life can be full even when no one's watching. At first, not posting feels like restraint. Then it feels like choice. And then something important happens, and it starts to feel like freedom. That freedom is the turning point. Now let's pause here for a moment, because this is where the real secret sits. The difference isn't that some people are private and others aren't. The real difference is what happens to your attention when you're not performing. For most people, attention is constantly split. One part of their mind is experiencing, part is documenting, part is curating. They're never fully present because they're always pre-thinking the post, the photo, the caption, the reaction. So they fill every moment with potential content, not because it enhances the experience, but because without it, they'd have to face something uncomfortable, being alone with their actual life. People who don't post experience attention very differently. When they stop performing, they don't feel a void, they feel presence. Presence with their own thoughts, presence with the person in front of them, presence with what's actually happening, not what looks good happening. They don't confuse documentation with living. And once you stop documenting, you realize something most people never discover. The best moments were never meant to be shared. They were meant to be felt, completely private, just for oneself. If you're listening to this and something feels familiar, let me slow down for a moment and speak directly to you. You might be the kind of person who's always felt slightly out of sync with social media. Not because you don't understand it, you do, but because every time you try to engage with it, something feels off. You take a photo and think, this is nice. Then you think about posting it and suddenly, this feels like work. You've probably noticed that your most meaningful experiences don't happen when you're thinking about sharing them. They happen when you've forgotten your phone exists, when you're deep in conversation, when you're fully absorbed, when no part of you is performing. Maybe you've had moments like this. You go somewhere beautiful, you take a photo, you look at it later and feel something, but you don't post it. What feeling does the pure experience, the pure memory, leave behind? Unaffected by the reactions of others. That's not missing out, that's the opposite. That's keeping something that most people give away without realizing it. Ownership of your own experience. You just stop judging yourself by metrics that measure visibility, not value. You stop forcing yourself to share things, and you begin to trust that your life can be full, rich, and meaningful, even if no one else sees it. We live in a culture that equates visibility with value. If you're not posting, you're not present. If you're not sharing, you're not living. If you're not performing, you're not participating. But in fact, that's not the case. People who don't post are no less perceptive. In many cases, they're experiencing more because their attention isn't divided. They're not watching the sunset while thinking about the caption. They're not having the conversation while planning the written story. They're not living life through a social media lens. They're just there, completely and present. And here's what research is starting to show. People who post less often report deeper relationships. Not more relationships, deeper ones. Because when you're not broadcasting to everyone, you're selective about who you share with. A meaningful moment gets a text to a close friend. A personal achievement gets a phone call. A vulnerable feeling gets an in-person conversation. This is what psychologists call differentiated intimacy. Most people flatten intimacy. Everyone gets the same access. Your best friend sees the same content as someone you barely know. What about you if you don't post? You maintain the depth of your relationships. Not because you're secretive, because you understand that depth requires selection and restraint. That restraint isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Not posting doesn't feel like hiding to you. It feels like being honest about what matters. And this is why calling it fear of judgment misses the point entirely. Fear makes you smaller. What you're doing is the opposite. You make a courageous decision for quality over quantity, depth over breadth, experience over performance. A life that's lived, not staged. Moments that are felt, not filmed. Connections that are real, not recorded. People like you aren't sharing less. You're protecting more. And once you understand that difference, something quietly shifts. Not posting stops feeling like something you have to justify, and starts feeling like something you finally understand. Your life doesn't need an audience to be real. It just needs you, fully present and fully alive.